Time. I'm your host, Jonathan Sellers, and filling in this week for Jeremy McLean is the Senior Associate Director of Athletics, and that's Sandy Atkins. Sandy, welcome back.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. I'm always look forward to when I get an opportunity to come and visit with you.
And happy Easter to you. I know it was a good weekend. Not quite the weekend for some of our sports teams as we would hope, but some very tough games for those teams. I know softball playing against one of the top teams in the country in Louisiana Lafayette here at home, and just a tough weekend for the softball team.
Yeah, you know, when you really go back and you know was at the games and. I mean, they had a couple of big innings, but, you know, we felt like that we did some really positive things throughout the game. You know, we had, you know, several innings where, you know, 3 up, 3 down, and that's always positive. But, you know, you did have a couple of big innings, and when you get the leadoff runner on, and, you know, it's hard to recuperate when you play in a good team like Louisiana Lafayette.
But they'll get the chance to kind of regroup this week, but it's not going to be easy. They go on the road to stay home against Kennesaw State this week, and then on the road to South Carolina, which playing an SEC team out of conference. That's going to be a tough little series up there. Yeah,
you know, starting off with 3 home tournaments, it really gave us an opportunity to, you know, get our feet wet and you know, get some games under our belt and really get into the meat of the conference schedule. And then you throw an SEC opponent, and any SEC opponent, especially in softball, is, you know, it's tantamount to be able to have to compete against those guys.
And the baseball team, after just such a tough stretch of road games, they ended a road stretch on the road against Little Rock, Arkansas. Little Rock. They were swept up there in some very close games, but just maybe a bad play or just couldn't drive in some guys towards the end, and that kind of helped those the sweep up there.
Yeah, you know, it's the small things, and you know, I think you talk with Coach Smart, he'll also say the same thing. It's the small things between wins and losses, and really could have had an opportunity to you know, come out on top in that series, and just couldn't quite get over the hump in a couple of things. Didn't go our way. And so, you know, hopefully, though, coming through a weekend like that, you can, you know, learn from it and you move forward and continue on.
I know they'll be glad to return home this week. And then for a good 9-game home stretch, I believe, they'll be at home and get to see some good opponents here.
Oh, yeah. You know, it's something we're looking forward to, being able to have a couple of home games. We do have out-of-conference opponent this weekend in New Orleans. We've got a reunion. Our 86 National Championship baseball team is having a reunion, and so we've got the whole weekend is an 80s themed weekend. We're going to have some throwback prices in the concession stand. We're going to have some throwback music. So, you know, hope to make it quite fun atmosphere.
Yeah, that should be fun. And maybe we'll see some coaches bring out some 80s style and things like that.
We'll have to talk to Coach Mark and see if he can throw back some of his old uniforms.
But some other teams doing really well right now, and we'll have to talk about the golf teams first, just how well they're playing, especially the women coming out on top last week, and Fatima Fernandez-Cano with another win under her belt.
Oh yeah, the women's golf team is playing very, very strong. It right now it kind of came out of the gate a little slow. But you know, this past weekend at Sanford really put some distance between winning the tournament and really the second place team. And you know, what more can you say about Fatima? She is she's playing some really good golf right now. I think she's the 38th ranked amateur in the country. Wow. So she's playing really well.
And just more opportunities for them to continue to rise. I know they're at a tournament right now. Don't know exactly where they're at, but they are playing some top teams. And if they can just continue to improve, not necessarily win, but just to play above those ranked teams, then it'll just help their.
Sure, absolutely. And you know, the thing about golf is it's, you know, it's an individual, but it's also a team competition. So you know, you want to be able to score some points in those team competitions in order to try to get an NCAA bid in case you don't win the tournament. But also individually, you know, if you're not successful as a team to get an NCAA bid, individuals can also receive an at-large tournament bid as well.
I know the men, they'll be looking to receive that team bid, and they're playing well, and they're just going to be looking to continue that until the championship time.
Right. You know, the men as a team have a little higher RPI than the women do, although the women are playing really good right now. So, you know, the men just need to keep pace. Right now they are, you know, in a position, their RPI ranked in the top 60-ish, 50s to 60s in order to make themselves, put themselves in a position to be able to receive an at-large. Now, of course, that's if we don't win the tournament.
Right. Well, hopefully we can do that. I know we've had been fortunate the past couple of years, especially the women have done well and can get that automatic bid. That always helps.
Right.
What else is coming up in Troy Athletics? I know there's some events with the Hall of Fame and the T-Day. Give us some dates and some information about those.
We, of course, we've been working hard on the Hall of Fame. That is April the 9th. We are, we've got right at 10 days left before the banquet. We're still selling tables. We are getting really close on having a sellout, so that's it's very, very good. Right. So we got a lot of festivities planned on that date. We've got our Hall of Fame, which is a spring scrimmage Hall of Fame game, a spring football scrimmage. We've got baseball series that weekend in the Hall of Fame. And then you fast forward to 2 weeks later, and then we've got our T-Day football game, and we have baseball and softball on that weekend as well. And at the same time, men and women's tennis will be playing in their conference tournament, as well as golf will be in their conference tournament at the beginning of the week. So, it feels like in some instances, some seasons are just getting started, and then you're already in conference tournaments in others.
I was about to say that. It seems like we're just talking about everything getting rolling, and now we're already talking about it wrapping up. But still a lot to look forward to. That's nearly a month away, and as you say, the 9th is the weekend of the Hall of Fame game and the Hall of Fame weekend, but that is separate from the T-Day game. So there'll be several opportunities to see the Trojans scrimmage out there. They've already started practice, and I know several fans have got to go out there and see them already, and they're practicing every Tuesday and Thursday and then Saturdays. Is that correct?
That's correct. As I was talking to the Director of Operations this morning, Todd Watson, and he always puts "as weather permits" on the back of that because already 2 of the 3 days have already been altered because of weather. But, the schedule is the NCAA now allows a window of days, and you have so many opportunities to be able to practice within those days. So right now they're practicing every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
Well, I know still a lot to look forward to, and we'll keep talking about those dates and try to get everybody involved in the Hall of Fame game, Hall of Fame banquet, and then the T-Day game.
Absolutely.
Thank you for joining us.
Sure thing.
All right, stay tuned for more coming up on It's Tea Time. Welcome back to It's Tea Time, and we're going to talk some baseball with the head coach of the baseball team, and that's Coach Mark Smart. And Coach, I know it was a tough road trip up to Little Rock over the weekend. It's kind of been the culmination of a tough stretch of games for y'all. Coach Brad Phillips last week said it may be the toughest one he's been through as a coach in recent years, and I know maybe you're thinking the same thing, and got swept up there at Little Rock in some close games, ones that could have gone either way. What are your thoughts on the weekend?
Well, first of all, you're right, Jonathan. In my 14 years here, I think it's the toughest opening 25-game stretch that we've had, just in terms of games away from home, quality competition. That's all part of it, something we're not afraid of.
Right.
But that was the back end of that stretch of games, and we had a chance to win all 3. We didn't execute late in any of those 3 games good enough to win, and that's something I was disappointed in. And I think, as a result of that, as we got to the late game situation Saturday after losing the first 2, I don't think our team had the right confidence to win that game. And we tied the game late, and we gave up the lead. And after that, we kind of limped to the finish line. So we've got some work to do to kind of clean up that and get that hangover behind us, because that's done now. We can't get it back. Unfortunately, we got a nice home stretch of games coming here, and I'm hoping that home stretch will get our kids moving back in the right direction. Yeah,
you got 9 at home. It starts this week as you face Alabama State. And Alabama State, they've been good in the past few years. A new coaching staff a couple of years ago has turned things around, and they're a tough team to play. You get them at home, fortunately, but what do you know about them this year?
Well, they're off to a good start as always. They beat us twice last year, Jonathan, up there and in Troy. And they had a really older, more experienced team last year. They're a little bit younger this time around, which they're a little bit new. They started off really slow, but they're playing better of late.
Right.
They're coming off a weekend sweep, so they're going to have some confidence. We're coming off a weekend sweep the wrong way. We're not in confident mode, so we'll have to find a way to combat that Tuesday night.
Now, what are you going to do about your pitching? I know you've gotten some good innings out of Corey Gill, out of Houston Mabry. Is it going to be kind of seeing a lot of arms, or you got a certain guy?
I think now, we're going to try to extend Corey a little bit. Okay. Last Tuesday, he was really good against A&M, but he had a little shoulder issue pop up. Nothing major. He got through that fine, but we took him out quickly because of that. I hope he can get 4 or 5 innings. Maybe we're going to keep in that middle, shorter stretch and maybe look for him to do a little bit more on the weekend, this coming weekend in our series. But it'll be a split game Tuesday. You don't want to burn anybody completely because of the weekend format.
Right. And then this weekend, UNO, a team you're familiar with, played them a lot back in the Sun Belt, and they are now not in the Sun Belt, they're in the Southland, I believe.
Correct.
But they've been kind of all over the past few years, and this year they've started off well. What do you know about that team?
Well, I think to a surprise to some, maybe not, first-year head coach, young guy, making a really nice start in his career. They've gotten off to a very impressive start off a not so good last year. I think they won 15 last year.
Right.
So for them to turn around and be at the top of their league year one of a new staff is really impressive. We'll have our hands full. They're really good. We're looking at it this morning. They're very similar to Little Rock. Very good offensively. Pitching is okay, not great. So they're built around run scoring and offense. We're kind of built the other way. We're built on pitching and defense, so it'll be an interesting matchup. This past weekend, the other matchup won. The offense outweighed our pitching staff, so I hope we can turn it back on our side this time.
But off the field, it should be a fun weekend for you, especially 80s reunion weekend. So a lot of your old teammates coming back. Tell us about the events going on this weekend.
Well, it is a special time for me and the teams that I played on. Our 1986 team, this is year 30. Believe it or not, I played 30 years ago. It just doesn't seem right. But and I've talked to several of our teammates. We had planned this last fall, and this is a good weekend to do it. It's springtime, the weather should be good, and all that. We're going to have a great turnout. We got a lot of former players from that 86 team that won the national championship back, and Friday night will be a very relaxed deal. They're going to have the patio area up there to mingle and do their thing. Saturday, we will have a pregame deal to recognize the guys that are back before the game. I hope the attendance will be positive for that. And then after the game, the thing I'm most excited about, just for our group of people, we're going to have a little post-game celebration, but it's going to be the guys I play with around my current team.
Right.
And I really want our current players to get to know who those guys are. They've heard their names, they've seen the pictures, but now they can meet them one-on-one. And the guys that I play with are very invested in the teams that we currently have. Mm-hmm. They know our roster, they follow our team, they enjoy watching them play. So for me, it's going to be, great chance to see my guys again, but more importantly, a chance to mingle both teams together.
And I think that's something you've emphasized is just the importance of Troy, the Trojan way, and kind of knowing your history, where you've come from.
I do think that's important, not because I played here. I think it's important for every player, whatever school they're at, they need to know what's happened before them. There's many, many good players that have played through here, many, many great teams. They should know that. They should embrace that. They should understand the expectations attached to that. And in Troy's case, we've had many championship teams through these years, and the players should embrace those expectations and not run from them. And anytime we can give them firsthand who those people are, I think that's great.
And Coach, those games will be Friday at 6. What time is the Saturday?
3 o'clock Saturday, 1 o'clock Sunday. Okay. All 3 games against UNO, and hopefully the weather will cooperate. Long range looks okay, right. And I'm just proud we're going to be in Troy for a couple of weeks. We don't have to get on a dang bus or pack a bag, and I think our players will enjoy it too.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Jonathan.
All right, stay tuned for more coming up on It's Tea Time. Welcome back to It's Tea Time, and we're going to talk softball now with Taylor Smart, one of the assistant coaches for the Trojans. And Taylor, I know it was a tough weekend over the weekend. You got to be back home, but against one of the top teams in the country in Louisiana Lafayette. What were your thoughts on the weekend? I know it was tough. Your team got swept, but was it a learning experience for your team? Yes,
we did learn a lot. I think that our girls, were excited to be at home again, and they hated that obviously they did not get the outcome we were expected. But they went out there and played. They played well. I think we saw some good, some bright and shiny, I guess, things from Meg Willis and Claire Graves. They came in and put up 4 zeros in 2 different games after a big inning, and kind of shut them down. And shutting their offense down is a big deal. I mean, they are a very potent offense, and so to be able to shut them down was great for them. And I was glad to see them have a little bit of success in the circle.
And do you think that this is something you can carry over later into the season? I know you got South Alabama later in the year. You got some more tough games. Can y'all carry that experience over? Yes, no doubt. And them able to go in that situation and, just go out there and just throw and trust the pitch calling and, just perform like they're capable of doing was good for them. And,
success breeds confidence, and them having a little bit of success against a great offense, hopefully will, give them a little bit of confidence.
Now, you're going to be back at home on Tuesday as you face Kennesaw State. Have y'all been able to scout them? What do you know about them?
They're a good ball club, and they come ready to play and compete each pitch just like we do. And if we go out there and throw well and play good defense and have a lot of quabs, quality bats back to back, then we're going to give ourselves a chance to win the game. And that's ultimately all you hope for in each game.
Now, is that going to be a doubleheader on Tuesday?
Okay. 3 and 5.
Okay, so fans, if you get out there, 3 and 5 at home against Kennesaw State, and then you're going to be back on the road this weekend in your non-conference schedule as you face South Carolina. Have y'all had a chance to look at them yet?
Yes, they can hit, and then they have a kid that can really pitch. But I mean, ultimately, it's about us playing against ourselves and the game. And so if we go out there and try and have a quality at bat, and the more quality at bats we can have back to back, the better off we're going to be, because we're going to make it harder for the pitcher to get the next person out. And so if we go out there and keep playing good defense like we have been, helping our pitchers out so they know that it's not just on them, then we'll give ourselves a chance to, in the end, win the game.
All right, so Tuesday night, 3 and 5 o'clock doubleheader. Then after that, they can go over and watch your dad's team face Alabama State. So a busy day on Tuesday. So thank you for joining us, and good luck this week.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, stay tuned for more coming up on It's Tea Time. Welcome back to our final segment here on It's Tea Time, and we're going to talk women's tennis with the head coach of that team, and that's your coach, Rawia LCC. And Rawia, thank you for joining us today.
No, thank you.
Y'all have been on a pretty much a good roll recently. You had gotten to the rankings into the top 100 or so, and then fell out after spring break after a loss to USF, but you've been playing really well.
Yeah, the team actually, they were so excited this March after beating actually ULM. So the day after beating ULM, the ranking came out, and ULM was winning like 8 matches in a row. So we broke the record. So we beat them in a very close match 4-3 at Fort Walton. And the next day, I was like, we jumped in the ranks, 73 in the country. I was like, girls were so excited. It's like, when was the last time we were ranked? I was like, back when I used to play, 2007. I was like, this is history. I was like, yes, it is history.
So it's got to be a good feeling. As a player, you helped get the team into the rankings, and now as a coach, you've led the team into the rankings.
Yes, it feels great, and the girls are so excited because they've been winning, and they were like, when are we going to get in the rankings? They beat like FIU earlier, and FIU beat Georgia State, and Georgia State were ranked 40-something. I was like, why we're not ranked? I was like, just wait, there's just computer system, you'll get there.
And you did, and now you've got some tough games ahead of you. And this week you're going to be playing South Alabama if the rain holds off and you are able to get that in. But that's going to be a tough matchup. They're number 1 in the Sun Belt right now. They're a big rival, and there have been some good matches between these teams. What do you think about that matchup?
The girls actually, this past week, the girls, after we finished Appalachia State match, we played over the Thursday, they got together in the practices like, we want to do something. So they start pushing themselves in practices like, we want to beat South Alabama. And it's at home, and they're ranked, and we got all these other we're going to play Georgia State after, and then a few weeks after, and also Florida State. We moved our match. So it's like, we want to get in the top 50, right? I tell them, well, it's up to you. It's you work out as a group and put the hard work, and winning or losing is not guaranteed. Right. So you put everything to it, you believe you can do anything. So I was like, and you got to win the double points. So they've been working really hard, and they've been, our group messages every day. They're sending motivation code, and it's just kind of exciting. So they're ready. They have nothing to lose, and they just want to show everyone who we are. So she's good.
And when will that match be? When is it scheduled for?
It's scheduled for this Wednesday at 3 o'clock after classes.
Yeah, that would be exactly. That would be a great opportunity for fans to come out, get to watch, get to cheer on Troy against South Alabama. Always a big rivalry between the two, so a great opportunity. Now, which one of your players has been playing well, or has there been a good doubles team that's been kind of standing out recently?
Well, we have a little balance. We had actually the bottom lineup has been winning, and it's just 1 and 2 is kind of the toughest position. But we've been winning matches in 3 and 4 and 5. We've been clinching match even 6. So it's kind of balance. It just and I don't have like the superstar in the team, but it's just more team and a balanced lineup. So So which is great. And in doubles, it's 3-2 been winning. I moved 2 up a little bit, but they lost few matches. But we've been closing matches in this position. Number 1 actually closed the match against Appalachia State, that past match we played.
Is there anything you and your team are going to be working on as you head into the end of conference play in the conference tournament?
Well, we're going day by day, and again, it depends on the effort of the girls. They're training on the things they need to work on, and just exactly what we do the same. And you have to see how hungry they are and how willing they're gonna put hard work into every practice. Because whatever in practice happens is what's going to be in the match.
Right, that's exactly right. Well, Coach, thank you for joining us, and good luck this week against South Alabama. It's Wednesday at 3 o'clock over at the Lunsford Tennis Complex. So good luck on that one.
Thank you, Jonathan.
And join us again next week for more of It's Tea Time.